What's up, everybody? The Washington Wizards lose to the Philadelphia 76ers tonight in DC, 131 and 126, led by 50 points by Joel Embiid. But the starting five did look good, and off the bench, Bilal Coulibaly and Corey Kispert were solid. So we're going to talk about the studs and duds, and we're going to chop it up with you guys at the end like we do. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again with my guy, the real Ed Oliver. And we definitely appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 and bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150. If your team wins, just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. So, Washington Wizards drop a really close game, a really good game tonight, 131 and 126 to the Sixers. Joel Embiid dropping a 50 piece, but Bilal Coulibaly looked like a future superstar, in my opinion. Jordan Poole looks solid. So, let's get right into it. So, E, who impressed you the most tonight? Because this was a really, really good team game, but who impressed you the most?
That's a good question, man. I'm gonna go with Bilal tonight, man. Getting the strip on Joel Embiid and getting the dunk. Also dunking on someone. I gotta see who he dunked on. I'm blanking on who he dunked on, but that was a beautiful dunk. Right there. He went coast to coast. He went to coast to coast a couple times. He got a dunk. He dunked on Paul Reed. That's who he dunked on. He dunked on Paul Reed, the backup big for the 76ers. That was nice. Like I said, the strip on Embiid. Just the confidence that he's showing. And he had a nice pump fake on Embiid, went to the basket and dunked it in the first half. So he's just very decisive. I love the way he's playing out there. He's a solid defender as well. You know, strips, deflections, plucking guys out there. So he's showing that he can put the ball on the floor and get to the basket, man. That he can navigate through the defense and get to the basket and finish above the rim. And just the athleticism that we've been looking for in a draft pick. So I think that they found a gem in Bilal, and he's growing each game. And there's a lot of guys that played well tonight. Like Jordan Poole had one of his better games. Yes, he had some bad turnovers towards the end of the game. Denny had a good game passing the ball, so he's up there too, but he struggled shooting the ball. Kuzma had a solid game shooting the ball. And Corey Kispert had a good game shooting the ball as well. So this was one of our better games. This is one of our better losses where it was competitive, where we didn't wave the white flag. Of course, we're going to talk more about how Joel Embiid put up 50 points. And they just couldn't stop him. And Gafford got fouled out with 3 minutes left in the game. And Gafford got injured and came back in the game and still fouled out pretty early because, you know, Embiid, they just have no answer. They don't have any big man depth at all. And Tyus had a solid offensive game as well. So just all around, I thought the guys played well in a loss. They were up at the half, 62-60. There was a lot of assists. Denny had 8 assists. Kuz had 7 assists, so Tyus had 8 assists. So they played unselfish basketball, backdoor cuts. I saw some slipping the screen, getting to the basket. Kyle Kuzma, a lot of pick and roll. Like the Sixers were struggling to guard us, but to answer your question, the guy who I was most impressed tonight was definitely the rookie Bilal Coulibaly, going 6 for 10 from the field, 14 points, 3 assists as well, and 3 steals. Stat sheet stuff are out there. So I really, really like what I saw from him tonight for sure. But other guys certainly played well. So they made it tough to pick who played the best out of all the guys. And I know it's a loss, but you know I think guys, and like I said, this is one of Jordan Poole's better games for sure. One of his more efficient games, 1 for 16 from the field. But like I said before, I really like what I saw from Bilal defensively and just getting after and being aggressive offensively as well.
Man, I'm going to say 2 people, and you already hit one of them, Bilal Coulibaly, man. Wow. This brother is a future superstar, man, and we definitely hit on this draft pick. I mean, his athleticism, his defense, just his, we're a quarter away into the season right now. We're at the 20-game mark, and he's improved every game. Like, at one point, it was like, what do we really expect offensively from to the point where he's not hesitant to shoot a 3-point shot. Like I'm telling you, man, because I compare him to OG Anunoby, maybe a slightly more athletic OG Anunoby. But when he figures it out on offense, man, especially it's going to be impressive. I'm trying to tell you, this brother is a future superstar, and we definitely hit this draft pick if we properly develop him. So yeah, he impressed me tonight with that dunk hole for Paul Reed. I mean, picking Embiid's pocket. I mean, he is just he's fun to watch because he is high energy. He's just. But I'm another guy I'm looking at is Denny, man. Yeah, he had a bad shooting night, but I mean, if you look at 8 rebounds, 9 assists. So I mean, you saw the vision, you saw him getting in and getting the boards, which we know rebounds an issue. So when his shot's not dropping, he's contributing in other ways, man. Which we didn't always see that from Denny. And I think that's the one part that really impresses me about Denny this year, and how I believe that he's taking that step is that years past when he had bad performances, especially from shooting, his confidence will take a dip, and you will see a bad performance in other areas. Now the shot's not dropping, he's contributing in other ways. And that's what I want to see from a guy like, especially after getting his bag, man. He's really evolving as an offensive force, man. And I like it, man. Shot wasn't dropping, but he still saw the vision, 9 assists. You still saw him going in there and getting boards, man. A couple more things kind of impressed me tonight from the Wizards. One issue we always talk about was 3-point defense. The 76ers shot 29.6% tonight from 3. So we did well on the perimeter, definitely forcing them to shoot low percentage shots. We definitely were a little pesky on the perimeter. Rebounds, obviously, we lost the rebounding battle. It continues to be an issue. Got out rebounded 54, 236, including giving them 11 offensive rebounds as opposed to 2 for ours. But, looking at the starting 5, I'm not upset, man. Tyus Jones came in and he dropped 20 points, 8 assists. That's what I'm looking for from him. 8 from 11 from the field and 2 from 4 from 3. And 2 blocks. So I'm just saying. Jordan Poole, really good game. Yeah, some bad turnovers, but we know that is something that he's working on. Overall, 3 turnovers, but 23 points, shooting 10 for 16 for the field. So he was highly efficient and shooting 3 for 5 from 3. So I like what I saw from Jordan Poole tonight. We covered Denny. His stat line, 8 points, but 8 rebounds, 9 assists. Kyle Kuzma, underwhelming. Efficiency took a hit, but he still provided 16.7 assists. Like you said, E. And Gafford, yeah, offensively, yeah, you can look at it, say 18 points, 8 for 10 from the field, but fouls continue to be an issue. He fouled out, and you can argue in a close game that you don't want to see a guy who is pivotal because we, hate it or love it, Gafford's pivotal because he's probably the one true big we have at the center position in the center rotation. And when he's out, man, when you slide Kuz in a small ball 5 and say, go guard and beat, that's a tough job to ask anybody, man. So, again, center depth's an issue in my opinion. We both said that, but whole nother issue, whole nother episode. But overall, I like what I saw. Covering the bench real quick, we covered Bilal Coulibaly, 6 for 10 for the field. 3-point shot. Wasn't dropping his 1 for 5 from 3, but 3 steals, man. I love what I see from this kid. And Corey Kispert, 16 points, man. 5 for 7 for the field and 4 for 5 from 3. He was his sniper self, man, hitting really, really good shots, man. I mean, I love when his shots hit, man. He is a sniper out there. So this was and we both were kind of laughing about it before the show, man. I hate to say moral loss, right? But I mean, this is the type of performance you want to see from the team, man. The team, we know we're rebuilding. We know that this is not a playoff team. It's not going to be a good team, but you want to see the fight. You want to see the dog. You want to see them really trying to beat these teams. And they played a contender really well going to the 4th, man. So I love what I saw from this team. I'm impressed. This is the fight I want to see going forward. And I think that performances like this really solidify what we're trying to do as far as culture leading into year 1 of the rebuild.
Definitely, yeah. I don't like moral victories too, but it feels like one. Yeah. Definitely a game that they certainly could have won. Had some turnovers down the stretch. Denny had Bilal for a wide open alley-oop, but he fumbled the ball there. Fumbled the ball on the next play. Jordan Poole fumbled the ball and lost the ball. Bilal threw a turnover on an inbounds play. So there were definitely some mental errors there down the stretch, and we didn't turn the ball over much throughout the game. It feels like let me see how many turnovers. We only had 11 turnovers, but the turnovers really came down in the 4th quarter. They made some mental mistakes there. And, of course, the Sixers guys at the free throw line a lot. Embiid just gets to the free throw so much. He knows, yes, he is getting fouled sometimes, but there's sometimes where he is definitely manipulating the refs with kind of, flailing and kind of not flopping. He wasn't – I'm not going to say flopping, but he kind of was at times. He just knows how to sell it and do the acting motion to get the call, So they thought they shot 34 free throws and we shot 8. That's a huge difference in free throws. We talked about it last night in the preview. They're like number 1 in free throw attempts. It's all because of Joel Embiid. He just shoots so many free throws. He gets in the line so much. I mean, he's a tough guard. 50 points. He had 45 the last time we played him. He put up 50. That was just a tough. The broadcast, they call it the dream shake. So he did like a shimmy, hit that on Gafford. Then he hit a jumper on Gafford. It wasn't Gafford. I think it was Gallinari to really hit the dagger. So Embiid just put on a show, and that was basically it. They weren't able to stop him. Maxey put up some points tonight too. He put up 26. So it was the Embiid and Maxey show, and Melton had 19. Oubre had a couple. He had a putback dunk too. So they just couldn't get stops when they needed to. But once again, like we said, I thought they played hard tonight. They put up a good effort.
Yeah, I mean, the Academy Award definitely goes out to Joel Embiid because, I mean, he knows how to play it. I mean, he's a pro's pro. He's been in this league for a minute. He's always in MVP conversations for a reason. He just knows how to play the game. He knows how the game is. But, I mean, I love what I saw from this team going forward, man, tonight. And going forward, I want to see this type of performance, man. Like I said, we preach a lot about culture. Culture is playing hard, and they played hard tonight. They played really hard tonight. So next, we're going to talk about what is Bilal Coulibaly's ceiling. And then at the end, we are going to chop it up like we always do. Before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. As the weather gets colder, Lord, the NFL offers stay hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's right, $150. If your team wins, though. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on action than right now. Don't hesitate. I'm trying to tell you, there's money to be had, so definitely do it now. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over and unders, and parlays, and a lot more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, the official partner of the National Football League. And Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. So, moving on, looking at Bilal Coulibaly. Like I said, we are a quarter of the way into the NBA regular season, and looking at Bilal Coulibaly right now, what is his ceiling in your eyes? Do you see him as a potential superstar, maybe an all-star, or maybe just a really high upside starter? What do you see? What do you think? Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was on mute. Yeah. That's a really good question. Oh man, it's such a tough. It's kind of just like the one yesterday where they were asking if Denny and Bilal could be the future future franchise guys. It's so tough, man. He's looking better and better each game, man. If he plays like that, man, he certainly could be. I think definitely a legitimate starter for sure.
Yeah.
But the question is, can he blossom into an all-star? Can he blossom into that kind of player? But no, I mean, the fact that we're talking about this is good news.
Yeah.
We've seen some of our rookies struggle in the past, especially their rookie season. We've seen Johnny Davis like now, in the G League, not playing like, Wes wanted Bilal to play in the G League. He said in the press, or, he said he was ready for him to play in the G League. Said the same thing about Corey Kispert, but to see what he's doing now, getting legit minutes, plucking Embiid, dunking on Paul Reed, guarding Embiid, playing really well defensively, getting stops against some of the better players in the league, and playing tough. Dame Lillard said good things about it. Giannis said that he's not too scared of the lights or the bright lights at all. So some big time players have said a lot of good things about Bilal already. So I mean, the sky is the limit for this guy. I don't know if he'll ever be an all-star, but man, he can play. He can play. He's going to make an impact on his team. He's definitely going to be a legit starter in the league for a long time, for 10 plus years for sure. And he's going to get stronger. He's got to get in the weight room. The shot is good. Got to work on the ball handling. But once he gets in the weight room and gets stronger and he's just pushing guys out the way, he can be a force to be reckoned with, man. I'm excited to see this off-season program that they put him in, the diet, all that. I'm excited to see for sure. But I think in the three-point shot that's the biggest surprise to me, how well he's shooting the three ball, because that's something I thought he was going to struggle with coming in. He is right now. He's shooting 43% from the three, which is just really, really. It's awesome to see that because I thought he was going to struggle from the three in the summer league. The summer league, but he struggled from the three, and he wasn't known as a 3-point shooter with the team with Victor Wembanyama that he played on last year either. So he's not shooting a lot of threes, but he's knocking them down. Like he's making at least one per game or one every other game. So I love that he's stretching the floor too. He's really expanding his game. So each game you see him do something different where he's improving. And I think this coaching staff and some of the new developmental staff that they have on the coaching staff, they can. I think they can get the best out of him, and I think they have a legitimate plan. Will Dawkins, Michael Winger, and Travis Schlenk. It looks like they have a legitimate developmental plan for him. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what he does for the rest of the season. I'm excited to see what they do with him if they give him more playing time not even just after the trade deadline, but before. Because I want to see how many minutes did he get tonight. He had, because I want to see him getting that 35 minute range, because that's of course Kuz got 34, so Kuz is going to give you 34 or 35 minutes. Blau got 28.
28. Yep.
Yeah, Blau had 28. So I want to see his minutes go up a little bit. I think, like I said, after the trade deadline, his minutes are going to go up, but I want to see him go up before that time, before they start shipping some guys off. So I don't know if it's because Shamet was out, Johnny was out, and somebody else was out. I can't remember. I don't know if that's why Blau got more minutes, but Blau deserves more minutes for sure. So I'm excited to see. But to answer your question, yeah, I think I'm gonna say legit starter right now. All-star, I need to see more.
Yeah, I agree 100%, man. I need to see more for me to say all-star, and I gotta see a lot more before we even get into the territory of superstar. But I would say there's nothing wrong with being a high upside starter, because that's why I always kind of compare him to OG Anunoby, maybe Scotty Barnes, is because they're very integral pieces of that offense in Toronto. I mean, if you look at OG, he can defend, he can shoot from three. He's just that guy where he's not a guy you can really consider an all-star per se, but he's a guy that you need on your team to be successful. And, Bilal is definitely going to be that guy, man. I mean, his defense is just already immaculate, in my opinion. And, if you look at his offensive game, it went from, like you said, a non-existent three-point shot in the French league to, us having questions on how long he might till he's able to at least be decent. So now he's out there and he's got confidence. Like, he's constantly shooting these threes. He's not hesitant. I love what I see from Blau, man. I definitely think he's going to be a very above average starter. Like I said, I need to see more for that all-star, but that's the thing, man. How many all-stars, there's only so many all-stars. I mean, there's a lot of guys who are above average starters, and, being all-star, not being an all-star is not that statistics where it's going to, make or break somebody. I think that he's definitely going to be very, very important in the foundation of this team going forward, man, especially trying to find guys who can defend. Between him and Denny, both of them are definitely high-level defenders, in my opinion. So, Bilal, man, he definitely has high upside. And again, this is something that you haven't heard in a long time, but we definitely hit on this draft pick. I mean, we definitely hit on it, So I'm excited to see what his future is going to be in DC, man, because this kid can play some basketball, man. I mean, he's humble. He comes out there, he's ready to work. I mean, I love it. I'm a big fan of Bilal, man. So we're going to go ahead and slide into comments, and then we're going to call it a night. But before we do, it's going to holler us about PrizePicks.
Yes, sir. Shout out to PrizePicks. If you pick Joel Embiid getting the over, then you definitely hit on that for sure. But PrizePicks is super, super easy to use. It's the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. With basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players in different sports or leagues. For example, LeBron James, Travis Kelce at a 10.5 combo of 3-pointers made plus receptions. Want to play it alongside some of PrizePicks' favorite players like rapper Meek Mill, comedian Andrew Schultz? You can now find community plays under the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the PrizePicks community each week. PrizePicks even offers a reboot policy so that your entries stay in play. Even if one of your players gets injured, for football and basketball games. If you have a player who exits the game in the first half does not return in the second, that player is rebooted. PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. Make sure you guys check out PrizePicks. Go to PrizePicks.com/LockedOnNBA. Use code LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. So, like I said, if you pick the more on Joel Embiid's points with 50, then you smash that. Same thing with Tyrese Maxey's points. I want to say they usually have him around 25. If you would have picked Jordan Poole's more, you would have hit on that. Same thing with Bilal Coulibaly. If you would have hit the more on Daniel Gafford tonight too with 18, because that definitely is more than what they usually have projected around. They have been projected around 10.5. So make sure you guys sign up for PrizePicks using code LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100.
All right. So let's slide in the comments like we do. And if you see any, man, go ahead and rock with it.
Yes, sir. I guess we'll just start off with some of the riff-raff here. I know Israeli fandom's trolling. I know he is. So he he said Diddy's better than Bilal. No one thinks Bilal is better. Diddy starts. Yeah, so Israeli fan, he's a funny guy. So we'll get to some more serious comments here. DMV for life. He says Gafford's defense was trash tonight. He should be embarrassed. Good offensive showing, but when you score 18 but give up at least 30 plus or more than 30 plus, foul out. What does that say? Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna give him a pass, but Joel Embiid, he's just a different animal.
Yeah,
he really is. I mean, a different player. I'll say that. He's an elite player. He's an MVP last year, MVP caliber player again this year. 50 points. He put up 45 the last time. Every time he plays the Wizards, he puts up at least 30. And we don't have any front court depth at all behind Gafford to even help him. Like the backup is Muscala and Gallinari, so we know they're going to get cooked too. So I'm not making excuses for Gafford, but it's kind of like we knew this coming in. You know, Gafford got injured, came back in, got fouled out. The guards don't help him much either, but this time they're just throwing a ball into the post to Joel, and Joel's either facing up, backing him down, shimmy shaking on him, hitting a fadeaway jumper, or he's dribbling to get into the basket on Gafford, and Gafford is just providing no resistance. And Embiid has, 30 pounds on Gafford, so it's just a mismatch. It really is. It's a mismatch. I think over the offseason, we definitely should have signed another big or more bigs. But, Gafford's only big on the team, so this is just what you're going to get. We play them again on Monday, so the more or less on PrizePicks might be 40 on Embiid, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if they did more or less than 40 points. Yeah, we played them on Monday. And Maxey, he hurts us too, so it's not just Gafford getting cooked, honestly. Maxey put up 25.
Yeah, I mean, the curious case of Daniel Gafford. I mean, yeah, can you say that a lot of his shots are spoon-fed, like kind of echoing John Wall's comments about Gortat? He's set up. He has to be set up a lot on the offensive end. He does do a good job with putbacks, lobs. He's starting to show a mid-range jumper. I believe he hit one in the first quarter. And so I was like, but I mean, we know what his issues are, man. The foul trouble continues to be an issue. And yeah, Joel Embiid is a monster that not many people in this league are going to be able to stop. And I felt they tried tonight. I felt that, you saw Bilal on him a few times. You saw Denny on him. I mean, everybody collectively tried to slow him down, and he still dropped the 50 piece. So that's it. Embiid's just another animal, man. He's like the Giannis's and the Jokic's of this league, man. It's just, you're not going to stop him. You just hope to try to slow him down. But Gafford is what he is, man. He's a backup who's starting. He's a backup. I mean, and nothing against Daniel Gafford, man, but to me, that's what he is. He's a backup center because you want to see him kind of evolve, and he hasn't. Foul issues continue to be an issue. And if anybody on the roster, I want to see him getting, it shouldn't be. I mean, I like seeing Denny leading all Wizards rebounders, but should it be Denny being the leader of rebounding? No, it should be Gaff, man. Like, he has to have more of a presence in the paint, man. And like I said, I'm not going to knock him too hard because it's Embiid, but in the same fashion, man, yeah, he can, scoring wise, he's there. But I mean, when you're the only big on the roster, you got to really work on the foul issues, whether it's, going for those pump fakes all the daggone time, or, because that last foul was preventable. That was a foul. You really can't. And in my opinion, the officiating was trash tonight. I mean, there's a lot of missed calls. Like there was a turnover that Jordan Poole had in the fourth, man, where I believe that was a foul. But obviously, you know what I'm saying? So there was a few turnovers where it was obviously him, but there was some calls that weren't called tonight, and we all know that these teams like the Sixers get those calls, and Embiid, with his Academy Award, he's gonna get those calls, so we know what it is. But yeah, in short, man, Gafford, he is what he is. He's a backup who's starting right now. I mean, he's going to provide points. He's going to, but defense is going to be hard. Who does he really match up against? Very little centers in this league. Is he the guy that's really, you know what I mean? So, I like Gaff, man, but he's a backup, and that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a backup. He's just overmatched against Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, I'll throw some history. So somebody else from the Wizards 7 years ago, they put up 52 points, 8 assists, hit 5 threes, and had 3 steals against the Orlando Magic. That was 7 years ago today.
Wow. 7 years ago, huh?
Mm-hmm. I guess a trivia question for you.
Oh, man. Okay. Dropped 52 piece 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Is my man J Dub?
Yes, sir. It was John Wall.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir. It's my guy.
Right. But this is from the press conference after the game from Wes Unseld Jr. Josh Roberts tweeted this out. He said Wes Unseld Jr. said it was really frustrating that his team's best drivers, Denny Avdia, Kuzma, and Poole, did not get a single free throw attempt, while the Sixers recorded 34 free throw attempts tonight. The Wizards had 8 free throw attempts in total. So Wes Unseld Jr. is complaining about the refs tonight. You said the refs were awful. And they weren't the best refs. I mean, they're not why we lost the game, but yeah, the free throw discrepancy definitely was ridiculous for sure. Embiid just gets any call. He gets the superstar treatment. He gets any call. Some of them were fouls, but a lot of the times he definitely is, putting on a show for us for sure. Blizz Nation. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No. I mean, I was just gonna say, man, we know Embiid's that guy. He likes to play it up. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bilal is this, and then I wanted to say Tyus Jones shot a 3. We were down by 4. It was a minute left. Once it was 113 to 109. I didn't like that shot selection there. I thought we could have took it to the basket there and slowed it down. We didn't have to shoot a 3. It was a wide open 3, but that was one thing where I was like, I thought we should have took it to the basket there.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that, man. I felt like they should have did something else there. But let's see. Desan says, Bilal is his team's MVP. I don't care. Our future is bright. MVP, I don't know. It's a toss up right now, man. But I like what I see from Bilal. The kid is really evolving in a short amount of time, man. And and it kind of tells you he works on his game. He's definitely in the gym working on his game. So I love where this kid's headed, man. He's young, he's still growing, and look, the future's bright. It definitely is. Especially if we hit in the draft, he is definitely a first step in the right direction as far as the draft for this organization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at the play right now where he faked the dribble handoff, took it to the basket on Kelly Oubre and dunked it. So there was a beautiful coast-to-coast play. Each game he's getting better. He's showing off a different move each game. So yeah, a lot of flack for Daniel Gafford here tonight. Muhammad Worthington says, "Get Daniel Gafford out of DC as a backup center at best. Can't guard anyone. At least Bilal played amazing." Yeah, we know who Gafford is. That's why we both said that they should have brought in another big. At least another 7-footer or some type of big that can provide some resistance in the post. But yeah, we know who Gafford is, and that's the front office just decided to have him as the only big on the team. And you look, those are the results you're going to get. Every big man that comes in, Mark Williams had 20 points and 20 boards. So every night the other team center or big man, they always have a big game against the Wizards. You can count on it. WizKid Forever, much better game than the last one against that is true. Not sure Poole is given 100%. Can he really be that bad a player?
I mean, tonight I didn't see any issues out of Jordan Poole tonight. I mean, the turnovers, but I mean, he led all Wizard scores. I mean, I like what I saw from Jordan Poole tonight. He's definitely was someone locked in. Yeah, I get it, man. Sometimes you kind of see the seriousness kind of leave at times, but this was one of the better showings for Jordan Poole. I'm not, I'm gonna give him number praise tonight, man. Jordan Poole looked good tonight. He definitely has to work on the turnovers, but I mean, heck, man, everybody got to work on something on this team. So, I mean, I'm not mad, man. I thought he had a really good game tonight, and plus, he was very efficient. So,
Stewart O'Flaherty says Bilal looks good and Denny is getting better and better. Yeah, I thought Denny had some moments tonight. 8 assists, didn't shoot the ball well, but you saw the passing. 8 assists, the ball movement was great. The pick and roll was great. Jared Butler came in and gave some good minutes. He had a couple nice passes to Muscala, where Muscala had a dunk. So everybody was moving the ball really, really well. I thought Denny moved the ball well. He just struggled with some turnovers down the stretch, struggled shooting the ball, and Bilal had a great game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, both of these guys are really my focal. I mean, I'm looking at Corey Kispert, but I say it all the time, and Corey Kispert is what he is. He's a shooter who can cut, but I'm looking at Denny and I'm looking at Bilal as really being those guys, these young guys for the foundation of this team, because I believe that if they can find consistent offensive games, these are two guys that are really going to be really, really good going forward for this team, man. So, I mean, because I see there's a lot of comments in here, man, people going back and forth about Bilal and Denny, man. I mean, let's celebrate both. I think both of them are a couple of young guys, man, where their offensive games are coming along. They can defend at a high level. These two guys are going to be good. So, I don't really want to see y'all going back and forth about both. I mean, let's celebrate them, because you're seeing two young guys who are really evolving, man. And that's what you want to see. That's the highlight of the season, man. So,
yeah, let's not let this be Denny versus Rui 2.0, where there was just the fan base was split. It was people were cheering for Rui and saying Rui and Denny, like nobody could, root for them at the same time. It had to be split, so I'm not doing that again with this Denny versus Rui or Denny versus Bilal kind of stuff. I see it starting to start up again. So let's just nip that in the bud before it starts up again. Josh Jenkins says, I want to give Gafford some props. Thought he made some progress against them if tonight compared to previous. Yeah, so a lot of people giving him flight. I thought offensively he did some good things. Brandon, you said he was spoon-fed. That is true. So, he finished some things. He did miss an alley-oop, he airballed alley-oop. But other than that, offensively, he was fine. Defensively, yeah, it's this Embiid is just a terrible, terrible matchup for him. He's a terrible matchup for a lot of people in the league. But Embiid is he's just a really, really, really bad matchup for Dale Gafford.
I mean, like I said, I like Gaff, man. I do like Gaff, man. But I mean, we got to be real about what our expectations are for Gaff, man. Lob threat, yes. Can he hold his own? I mean, it's getting harder, man. I mean, let's be real, because if you look at the centers in this league, man, how many matchups do you see that Daniel Gafford has a chance to be dominant? I mean, he's just not that guy in the starting center. And, like I said, he is what he is. He's a backup. Because, I mean, they could have brought Mo Bamba up in there, man, and he probably would have gave him some fits. I'm just saying he's got to work on some things. And, and here's the thing, just like we were talking about Wes Unseld and them kind of jumping the gun and giving him that fourth-year option. I believe they jumped the gun giving Daniel Gafford an extension, because, I mean, he's very, very limited what he can do offensively. He's developing a mid-range, but still he's very, very limited, man. So we'll see. But going forward, I do not believe he's the center of the future. I think the center in the future is in France. So, I mean, I'm just being real, but so he is what he is.
Right. Bullish Nation says we all need a woman who loves the way Israeli fandom loves.
No joke.
Oh, yeah. And Chimp, yeah, we're not. People are still scared to be critical of Denny. Yeah. I know Chimp's been a long time listener, so he knows we're not afraid to be critical of anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. So
anybody get that smoke.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people say that we didn't congratulate Denny or whatnot. So we people say we're overly critical of Denny. But I like the way he played tonight. He didn't shoot the ball well, but once again, I thought he made some really good passes tonight. Jared, I guess we'll end on this one. Jared Butler tomorrow. We'll probably finish up some other comments and do a preview. David Butler, he might be related to Jared Butler. So what are your thoughts on Jared Butler? I'll go first. I thought he played well. Made some really nice passes. The pick and roll was working for him. So him being a two-way contract player, I thought he stepped up without DeLon Wright. No Johnny Davis. No Shamet. I thought he made the most of his minutes. Let me look at his stat line as well. But yeah, I already talked about the nice passes that he made to Muscala on the pick and roll. So I like what I saw from him. He's been in the league for 2 or 3 years. Won a championship with Baylor, so he's a smart player. Four assists. He did have 5 fouls though. He had 5. He had 0 points, 4 assists, and 5 fouls. So you just got to work on the fouling. And 0 for 3 from the field. Kind of wasn't really looking to score, but looking more to set guys up. So I like the way he played tonight.
Oh, absolutely,
I want
man.
to see
He's a dog.
Rollins get some time though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that too, man. Rollins and Butler are the two guys that I think are high upside guys, man. I mean, I watch go-go games, man, and the go-go's got a lot of talent, man. Jules Bernard. I mean, there's a lot of guys in the go-go, and they've got Emery is another name. So I love what I see.
Jalo. I like him too.
Oh man, yeah, coming from former Piston, man. Yeah, there's a lot of talent on the go-go. So yeah, Jared Butler, man, he comes in, he plays hard, he gives you quality minutes. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm really becoming a big fan of him.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up tonight. We want to thank you guys for listening and making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you guys get podcasts. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell, and hail to the Wizards. Peace.